Dravida mentioned the month of Kartik Damodar, so I have decided to speak on the song that describes this Damodara-lila. It is spoken, it's a song spoken by Satyavrata Muni. He was having a conversation between Narada Muni and Shaunaka Rishi. So in the Padma Purana it is stated, actually it's from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. In the month of Kartik, one should worship Lord Damodara, everybody say, Damodara, and daily recite the prayer known as Damodara Ashtaka, which was spoken by sage Satyavrata and which attracts Lord Damodar. So that's significant because Krishna Damodar is himself all attractive. But here we see that if we sing this song, then we attract Lord Krishna. So there are two tunes. There's a morning tune and evening tune. So I'm going to go verse by verse, and we have an expert mridanga player to assist. Namami Shwarang Satchid Ananda Rupang Lasat Kundalang Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biolukulad Davamanam Paramrishtam Atyantato Drutya Gopya. That, of course, is not the evening tune. Krishna has covered my intelligence. So let's look at this first verse. So, the author of this song says, I bow down to the Supreme Controller. So Prabhupada explains in his teachings that there are many controllers, but the supreme, ultimate controller is Krishna. This is the conclusion of the Gita, conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the conclusion of the Brahma Sanghita. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna. And like that shloka, Sachid Ananda Vigraha, so the author of this song says the same thing, that the Supreme Controller has a body, has a form, but not like our forms and bodies. His body is Satchit Ananda. It is eternal, and we all know this body is not eternal. We see in the mirror every day, another gray hair, another wrinkle, another, we know this body is not eternal and definitely not full of bliss. Nobody here can claim, oh, my body is so blissful. Oh, yeah, really? I don't think so. And we are not full of knowledge. Actually, what do the Vedas teach us? Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnana Anjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. That we are born in the darkness of ignorance. The Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Kapila is describing to his mother Devahuti the scientific explanation of the jiva soul in the womb of the mother and how the living entity takes birth. It's all very scientifically explained by Lord Kapila. It's not very pretty, actually. It's a very precarious situation. So our bodies are different from Krishna's body. Now, the author goes into detailed description of God, as I've said many times. This is yet another reason why I like this philosophy. Why do I practice this Krishna consciousness? Well, one reason is the details. We get specific, detailed information about God. And in case you didn't know, the whole purpose of human life is to understand God. That's the real purpose of human life, to realize God, to realize what is my relationship with God, and what is this cosmic manifestation. This is the real inquiry given to a human being. Animals cannot inquire, but human beings can. So these books in our Gaudiya Vaishnava library gives us so much detail. So here, in this particular Leela or pastime, Krishna wears earrings. So that's cool. God wears earrings. And they're shark-shaped. Now, in this particular Leela, those earrings are playing. They're swinging. And this Krishna, or Damodara, as will be explained later, is manifest in a place called Gokula. Not New York, not San Diego, except for here, of course. But his pastimes are performed in a place called Gokula. Who has visited Gokula? Yes, I also. My very first visit to India, 1975. I actually got lost in Gokula. And I was saved by Krishna. So Krishna is in Gokula, and he's splendorously manifest. We know from other descriptions of Krishna that his body is effulgent. We have a term, Brahman, Brahma Jyoti, that's the exact term. Brahma Jyoti. Now, I was speaking on this Damodara-lila yesterday at a home program in Irvine, California. And I was pointing out something I like to point out all the time, that the effulgence of Krishna is coming from his body, not vice versa. And I gave the example. We have the sun and the sunshine. But the sunshine does not create the sun. No, the sun creates the sunshine or the sun rays. So in the same way, God, Krishna, manifests his effulgence. It rests upon him. And that's exactly what Krishna says in the very last verse of chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita. Brahmano hi pratishta aham. And that word aham is very significant. Krishna is telling Arjuna, aham, I, myself, my body, is the source of this effulgence, Brahma Jyoti. It's resting on me. And sometimes I make a joke. So therefore, don't be spiritually dyslexic. Don't think that Krishna comes from the Brahman, like many people mistaking. No. The Brahman, the effulgence, comes from Krishna. That reminds me of a song I just recorded. It all comes from Krishna. It all comes from Krishna, which is the meaning of one line of Bhagavad Gita. What line am I thinking, Devadadas? Okay, that's acceptable. That's not the one I was thinking, but I will give you a ding for that. I was thinking, tell me if I'm correct, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Am I correct? Everything comes from, everybody say Vasudeva. Vasudeva. Yes, Krishna, another name for Krishna.
Vasudeva.
What's that?
It means everything is Vasudeva. It doesn't say everything comes from Vasudeva.
Well,
Aham sarvasya bhava means it all comes from me.
okay. I never argue with my superior God brother. Even if I think he's wrong, I never argue. It's not wise, especially when you're in his house, in his home court. If we were in LA, then maybe I would debate, but not here. So, nevertheless, the effulgence comes from Krishna. So, at the same time, this Krishna, now, this pastime, if you study elsewhere in the Bhagavatam, this Damodar pastime is bewildering to Kunti Devi. In the first canto, Krishna, after the battle of Kurukshetra, is getting ready to leave Hastinapur and go back to Dwaraka to be with his friends and family and his kingdom. But as he's getting on the chariot to leave, the mother of the Pandavas, Kunti Devi, stops him and offers beautiful philosophical prayers. And Prabhupada spoke on those prayers in Los Angeles and also in Mayapur. Very nice lectures Prabhupada gave, 1973-74. So, one of those prayers, Kunti says, Yashoda, tying you up, this bewilders me. Because Yashoda, as will be explained, Yashoda is in Maya. Prabhu, what are you saying? Yes, everybody's in Maya. You're either in Mahamaya or Yogamaya. We, conditioned souls, are in Mahamaya, suffering the threefold miseries, suffering birth, death, old age, and disease. But there is a spiritual Maya, or illusion. And what is that? That you are so spiritually advanced in love of God that the conception of the awe and reverence and majesty of God becomes crippled, diminished. And instead, what takes over is deep, deep affection and love, intimacy. And so, the greatness of God is very, very minuscule. But the love of God, the feeling and attachment for God is very much heightened. So, Kunti was on that platform of awe and veneration, respect. She was not on Yashoda's platform. Because Yashoda doesn't worship Krishna as God. In Vrindavan, they worship Narayana. Everybody say. Narayana. And that wasn't everybody. Come on. Narayana. That's better. Yes. To them, the residents of Gokula, God is Narayan. Who is Krishna? Oh, Krishna is just the one that everyone loves. Prabhupada, when he once was explaining this song, Prabhupada chanted this song. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari. So when Prabhupada one time explained this song, he said, the residents of Vrindavan, they don't care whether Krishna is God or not. They don't care. It's not that, oh, if Krishna is God, then I'll love him. No. For the residents of Vrindavan, even they see Krishna as God, immediately they forget that and they think, no, Krishna is just one of us. Maybe he's some demigod. Because they are on the platform of intimate, spontaneous, ecstatic love. So they don't care whether Krishna is God or not. They don't care. But the thing that they do care about, we simply love Krishna. Just like in this temple. Now yesterday I did this and I didn't get the response that I wanted. So I changed it. I said yesterday, who here loves Krishna? So they were clever. Very few people raised their hand. And I said, what's going on? Oh, I know. How many here are trying to love Krishna? Then all the hands went up. Because they were. So let's see. Who here is trying or is loving Krishna? Raise your hand. Good. You're in the right place. Yes. But that is the atmosphere of Vrindavan. Everyone, everything simply loves Krishna. So in the Bhagavatam, very early, it is stated that who is this Krishna? He is that person that fear personified is afraid of. Not only Krishna, even Krishna's name. Even because Krishna's name is equal to Krishna. It is Krishna. That is the meaning or understanding behind chanting. My father, even though I explained it to him 108 times while he was alive, he couldn't understand. He would always say, why am I and my wife mumbling all day long? We're not mumbling. We're chanting the names of God because the name of God is God. And then I would tell them, hallowed be thy name. Duh. Even you were taught that, my dear. I didn't say that to my father, but I was thinking that even in the Bible I was raised, hallowed be thy name. What is the meaning of hallowed? Was that? Very sacred. Yes. I always say holy. Very, very holy. And I would explain, yes, God's name is the most holy thing. That is the basis of our whole movement. The Hare Krishna movement is all based on this principle that the name of God is the most holy, or you say sacred, hallowed thing that exists. There is one religion, they teach, God's name is so sacred, don't utter it. I'll never be part of that religion. No. What? No. We don't want, there's no need for that. You know, I know. Yes. So, we build our philosophy on this point, that the name of God is God. And therefore, that opening, one of the opening shlokas, fear personified is afraid of Krishna. But in this pastime, that person who fear personified is afraid of his mother. And that's why Kunti was bewildered, because she understood that Krishna, his name, is feared by fear personified. But Krishna in this pastime, Lila, is afraid of his mother. He was afraid of his mother because he was naughty. Yes. And previous to the chapter in the Bhagavatam where this pastime of Damodar takes place, Krishna did many naughty things along with Balaram. like pinching the sleeping babies, urinating and passing stool in the houses of the neighbors. What to speak of stealing their butter and yogurt. Yes, they were doing many naughty things. So this pastime of Damodar took place on a very special day, which is in 1 week. What's happening in 1 week? No, before that. What happens on Sunday? Diwali. Then, are you celebrating Diwali or Govardhan on Sunday? You're going together. That's the way ISKCON does things. But in Hindu culture, next Sunday is Diwali. So, because of all these mischievous activities of Krishna, Yashoda was thinking, why is my son acting this way? Why? Probably he's not happy with the butter and yogurt and milk he's getting from home. So Yashoda was thinking, okay, today I myself am going to make the butter. And it's explained in the Bhagavatam, Bhakti-Vedanta purports, that Yashoda had special cows. After all, she's the queen. Nanda Maharaj is the king from one angle of vision. And Yashoda is the queen, so the queen's got to have something special. So she has these cows, and they would eat certain grasses that would give the milk special flavor. Cow is actually mystical. How many stomachs is in a cow? 4 stomachs? 4? Yeah. And they have mystic power. What is that? They can chew grass and make milk. I can't do that. Yeah. No, I had a devotee friend. For so long, he would try to get me to drink wheatgrass juice. Ugh, I tried. It was so nasty. Ugh. But supposedly it's very healthy. I don't know. But I never produced milk by drinking wheatgrass juice. But cows, they are special. Special creations. Just like sometimes in my preaching, depending on the time, place, and circumstance. Don't mess with God's favorite animal. You want to eat meat? Okay, eat this. Don't touch mother cow. All the devatas, all the demigods reside in the body of the cow. Don't mess. Yes. I used to work for some time in Westwood, and I had a boss, and he found out after some time that I was a Hare Krishna, and I gave him some books, and he knew something, he knew a few things, and one thing he would always laugh. He goes, "You people, you refuse to eat cows. What? That's so silly." And I said, "Really? You think it's silly?" So one time I had to go to his house. He lived in a place called Brentwood, very, very posh, elite. And when he came out, he had these 2 big dogs on leashes, big, nasty dogs. And I was like, eesh. So I remembered that. So I said, "So, Jim, Mr. Toll, how would you like it if I took your 2 dogs, killed them, and eat them?" He said, "I would kill you." I said, "Now you understand how I feel about the cows." But did he get it? No, it went right over his head. But I was very impressed that I told him that. Yes. And where I live, I call it dog loca. Every morning I go for a walk with my wife, and sure enough, there are dozens of people walking 1 dog, 2 dogs, some 3. I call it dog loca. And of course, I have to play the game, right? Even Prabhupada mentions this. So I don't say hello to the person. I go, oh, hi, doggy. And then I get the blessings of the neighbor because I recognized their dog, which they're so attached to. So, Krishna did nonsense. So Yashoda on Diwali day is personally churning the butter. Krishna at this time is taking a nap. He wakes up. Now, Dravida, my understanding is at this time, Krishna is what, 3 or 4 years old? Like that? Something around that. Not 5. He hasn't reached Pauganda yet. He's still... So, Krishna, upon waking up, comes to Yashoda and wants to drink the milk from her breast. And Yashoda, being a loving mother, and remember, all she knows, this is my son, not God, he's my son, who she loves more than her own self. So, Yashoda is looking at Krishna, and she's noticing how beautiful Krishna is, such a beautiful child. All of a sudden, there's some noise coming from the kitchen. And what is it? The milk that was on the stove is overboiling. And anyone who has had to clean a kitchen knows how hard it is to scrub burnt milk off a stove. You got to put a lot of elbow grease in there. You got to really work hard. So Yashoda has to take care of the overboiling milk. So she interrupts Krishna from his drinking, puts Krishna down to take care of the milk. And Krishna now becomes angry. My mother has stopped. I don't like this. I'm not finished. So Krishna took a rock and threw it at the pot of yogurt butter. And of course, broke it. And the butter came out. And it appears Krishna stepped in it. I'll explain why. Then, after breaking the pot, Krishna runs away. And as it says here, he got on a ulukala. Ulukala is a wooden grinding mortar for rice. So Krishna somehow or other has climbed up this wooden rice grinding ulukala, and on the ceiling hanging is yogurt. And what is Krishna doing? He's giving the yogurt to his friends, the monkeys. Anyone who's been to Vrindavan, you know there are so many monkeys in Vrindavan. They'll steal your watch, you'll steal your japamala, they'll steal your cell phone, they'll steal your jewelry. The monkeys are very bold, very crafty. So Krishna and the monkeys, they're buddies, because Krishna is liberally giving the butter to the monkeys. At the same time, Krishna knows, yeah, I've done something mischievous. So at the same time, he's looking to see if his mother's going to come. So when Yashoda gets back from taking care of the milk, she sees, wait, the child is gone, the butter pot is broken, but she can figure out where Krishna is because his footprints have the butter stain, and Krishna's feet have particular markings. That's why if anyone says, I am God, first thing you should say is, show me your feet. Because if you're God, there are specific markings, not lines and cracks. So unless those markings are on the feet, that person is not God, he's dog. Anyone who claims to be God is a dog, just the opposite. So Yashoda, being a sleuth, she could figure out where Krishna was. And then, all of a sudden, because Krishna's looking this way and that way, he sees his mother. He freaks out. And yes, not only does he see his mother, but she has a stick in her hand. Anybody have the experience of being beaten by a stick? I have. Yes, I think they still do in India, right? Yes, I got it in Our Lady of Loretto Catholic School by Sister Mary Virgin in the 8th grade. Ooh, I was a nonsense. Yeah, I deserved it. But I know. So Yashoda is angry and she has the stick. So Krishna gets scared. He jumps down from the wooden rice grinding mortar and runs. He doesn't want to get beat by a stick. Now, the Bhagavatam explains Yashoda is sumadhyama, slender waist, but full-bodied. So, not very easy to run when you have a full female body. You'll notice those female athletes, they have compact bodies, not full female bodies. You study. So, Yashoda, and after all, she's a cowherd. She's a gopi. The gopis were not sitting back watching television. No, from morning till night, the gopis are working. This is another point. That when we go back to Godhead, it's not that we're going to sit back in the clouds and watch TV all day. No. Going back to Godhead means work. Even the Mother of God has housework. So ladies, if you ever need to inspire your children, tell them, even Krishna had to go to work. Yes, every morning Krishna, after breakfast, he goes to the pasturing grounds with the calves and the cows. And even his mother and father are pleading with him, no, Krishna, don't go. Krishna says, no, I have to do my dharma. I have to do my duty. I must take care of the calves and cows. But that's a plea. He's got other things in mind, which we cannot discuss right now. We got to stay on target. I don't have 3 hours. So, when you go back to Godhead, you will have blissful duties. Not like here in the material world, but tomorrow, Monday. Oh, man. I got to get on the freeway. I got to go to that job. And I got to deal with those idiots at the job. And that nasty boss who never gets off my back. I know, I used to work. I know what it's like. I can emphasize. Right? But in the spiritual world, you wake up, you look forward to your job. Oh, today I get to cook for Krishna. Today I get to dress Krishna. Different. It's ecstasy. So Yashoda is trying to catch up to the fast-running Krishna. Takes some time, but as this song said, she finally catches him from the back. And now it goes into description. I'm going to sing this second shloka. Rudantang muhur netra yugmam rajantang karamboja yugmena satanka netram Muhu swasa kampa trirekanka kantha Stita graivang damodarang bhakti-baddham. Dravida Das, in that shloka, what word stands out like the blazing sun? Bhakti-baddham, doesn't it? Yes, would you agree? It's very strong. So, listen to now. So, Yashoda has captured him. What does it say here? God is crying again and again. His eyes fearful. And he's rubbing those two eyes. And he's rubbing those two eyes with his lotus hands. Different parts of Krishna's body is reddish and is compared to the lotus. Nama pankaja nabaya, nama pankaja malane, nama pankaja netraya, nama pankaja angraye. That's another one of Kunti's prayers. So, his feet, his hands, his face, his eyes, compared to lotus. Now, he's quickly breathing when you're afraid, and he's sighing and also trembling, meaning he's very afraid, trembling. Now, Krishna is decorated with a pearl necklace. So because of the bodily emotions, the pearl necklace is also moving on the neck of Krishna. And here we get a nice analogy. Krishna's neck is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell. If you ever looked at a conch shell very, very closely, it has those lines. So here is meditation. You can meditate. This whole month is meditation on this pastime. That's one of the things we should do. Every day myself I am chanting this Damodara-lila song and reciting the translation every day. And all the way here in the car, I was simply listening to this pastime, to this song, so that when I came here, I'm fired up. How am I doing so far? Is it good? All right.
Nirantara, one little editorial change on the last line there.
Go ahead.
It says Stita Grivam Damodaram. It should be Stita Griva Damodaram. That's just a description. It's not his name, Damodara. I mean, with ropes around the belly. Then it fits Stita Griva Damodaram bhakti-baddham, not Stita Grivam Damodaram. That was a mistake in the transliteration early on.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
We love him. I mentioned, I think, previously, in a Vedic sacrifice, you need 4 Purohit priests. So one of them is the referee or checker in a Vedic sacrifice. Any mistake, 5-yard penalty, do over. You have to do that mantra over because it has to be done perfectly. So when you have Dravida in the house, you better say the right thing because ding, 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 ding. That's one. Am I okay so far, Dravida? Okay, good. Huh?
You know, when I joined, I was a chronic fault finder, and that's not good in bhakti. So Prabhupada gave me a job as a proofreader of his book, so I could find, that's misspelled, that's good, like that. So that was my service. Still is.
Yes, Yukta Vairagya. Anything can be used in Krishna's service. So the author now, after describing the scene, says, I offer my humble obeisances unto Lord Damodara, who has a rope tied around his belly, but actually he is bound only by devotion. Bhakti, everybody say, Bhakti bhakti-baddham. So what happened? This is what happened. So he's shaking, he's crying, he's rubbing his eyes, breathing. Yashoda has the stick, but then she thinks, wait a second. If my punishment is too severe, it may cause some psychological problem later on for the child. As we say here in America, the punishment has to fit the crime. So Yashoda was thinking, nah. She threw the stick away. But the child is too restless. The child is too naughty. And I have so much housework to do. It's like my wife says at least once a week. I have so much work to do. Yes, ladies, do you feel like that? Your work is never done? Yes. So Yashoda's thinking, I've got to do something. The child is so restless, he may run away. So she decides to tie him up so that he cannot cause a disturbance. So she's going to tie him to the wooden Gokula, the rice grinding mortar. So she asks for some rope. And she tries to tie the knot, but somehow 2 fingers too short. Oh, no problem. We'll add another rope. She tries to tie the final. What? It's still 2 fingers too short. More rope is added. Again, 2 fingers too short. Meanwhile, the neighboring ladies have come and they're smiling because they see what's happening. All the rope in the house is added and still it's 2 fingers too short to make the final knot. What's going on here? So, finally, after so many attempts, Yashoda gets flabbergasted, gives up. Oh my God, what can I do? So then Krishna says, aha, now I will agree to let you tie me up. So this everybody say bhakti-baddham. This is a key point on this pastime. That nobody can tie up Krishna. In Sanskrit, we have the word guna. Guna can mean rope. Guna can mean quality. Guna can mean the 3 modes of material nature. Either one you choose, none of these things can tie up Krishna. So Krishna, in causing that every time the rope was added, it's still 2 fingers too short, Krishna is showing everybody, including us, don't think you can tie me up so easily. Nothing material can capture me. After all, later on in the song, one of the names is, everybody say, Ananta. Ananta means Krishna is unlimited. Can you tie up the sky? The sky in material terms is considered unlimited from material vision. But Krishna, everything about Krishna is Ananta, unlimited. One time, Prabhupada was explaining, saying, even if you think Krishna is lusty, he's unlimitedly lusty. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. So you cannot tie up the unlimited with some rope. You cannot tie up Krishna by the modes of nature, meaning you may be in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. You're not going to capture Krishna. You're not going to capture Krishna by your material acquisitions, your material expertise, your material assets. No. And definitely Krishna is not under the control of the modes of material nature. He explains this in the Gita, that I am above the modes. We, on the other hand, we're under the modes of nature. We're trying to get out. Chapter 14, when Arjuna in Gita says, how does one transcend the modes of nature? And Krishna's answer is, Mang chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. You want to transcend the modes of nature? Then you have to be engaged in bhakti. As the song says, bhakti-baddham, the ropes of love. That is, and for me, this is so vital to my understanding of Krishna consciousness. I have millions of reasons why I am a Hare Krishna devotee. One of them is that this concept that our philosophy teaches, that God can be controlled only by love. I love this. I love this. God, it doesn't matter who you are, what you were, who you think you are. You want to capture God, the only thing you need is love. And that love, Lord Chaitanya teaches us, it's already there in your heart. You can't buy it on Amazon.com. No, it's already there. It just has to be Jeev Jago, Gora Chanda Bole, Pota Nidra Jao Maya, Pishachira Kole. We are all sleeping. That's why a few months ago I gave a lecture on let's get woke. Because our philosophy is the original, pure, woke philosophy. The whole Vedas is about waking up, Jeev, Jago. Wake up, conditioned soul. Wake up. Utishta Jagrata, one Vedic mantra. So, this potency, yes. Everyone has love of God in a potential state because it's part and parcel of you, the soul. Not your body, not what you see in the mirror, the real you. As my godbrother Urjaswat used to preach, Prabhu, step outside your body. I want to talk to you. Yes. So, that love of God is now dormant. So how to wake it? Not by alarm clock. We all changed our clocks today. This morning, we changed our clocks. So what is and that's a good. How do you wake up? You hear the sound. The sound wakes you up. Same principle is there in the Vedas. By sound vibration, you wake up. By sound vibration, you become liberated. That is the Vedic process. Bible says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. I translate that as Om. Do you agree? The Word of God, the sound of God. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says, Om is the Mahavakya, the supreme transcendental sound. So, Prabhu, how come you Hare Krishnas don't chant Om? Why do you chant Hare Krishna? You just said Om is the Mahavakya. Om is within the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So we're covered. Let's all chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And this bhakti is mentioned in the Gita by Krishna. When he says, I am very easy to worship. You just give me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, even water. I always bring my water. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. That was the commercial break. Krishna is the taste of water. Yes. If I can get the audience to laugh, it goes a long way. So that sound vibration is how you wake up. That sound vibration is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Simply by chanting the Maha Mantra, that dormant love of God is gradually awakened. And when it is fully awakened, you'll be like the deities. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. You'll be ecstatic because all you need is love, but you have to love Krishna. Yes. So I think we have time for a little more. Iti dwikswalila bir ananda kunde swagoshang nimajjantam akyapayantam tadiyeshitagyeshu bhaktairjitatvam puna prematastang Shatavriti Bande. So, bhakti again appears in this verse. Displaying his childhood pastimes, such as this Damodara-lila and others. Now, we learn from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya that Krishna has 4 special, unique qualities that even Lord Narayan doesn't have. Narayan is God. Krishna is their equal, but still they're equal. But Krishna has 4 special, unique qualities. One of them is this: wonderful pastimes, such as childhood pastimes. Of course, what are the others? Krishna plays a flute, which attracts all the 3 worlds. This, when I was new coming to Krishna consciousness, I identified myself as a rock and roller, a musician. So when I learned that Krishna plays a flute, yeah, that's my kind of God. He's a musician. And when he plays his flute, everybody goes mad. Yeah, that's my God. Not some old man with a beard. No. Somebody's youthful, beautiful, and plays a flute. That's my religion. So he plays that flute. And another one, he is so attractive, so beautiful. He attracts everything. Unique beauty, special beauty. And this whole Vrindavan Leela demonstrates the 4th principle, that he is surrounded by loving devotees who spontaneously love him. That's the goal we're trying to get at. Spontaneous. Unfortunately, I only have spontaneity for eating and speaking and singing. I'm not yet spontaneously attracted to Krishna. But give me a microphone, I'm ready to go. Or talk about Krishna, sing about Krishna. Yes, I have that attraction, I can say I have. So I can see progress. Displaying his childhood pastimes, immersing his own family and all the residents of Gokula in a pool of bliss. What is the Sanskrit there? Ananda Kunda. Those in India, you know about Kund, Radha Kund, Shama Kund. They are lakes or ponds. But here, Ananda Kund. Let's dive in. Ananda Kund, yes, that one you should drown. Because what is Ananda? Happiness, bliss that increases moment after moment, step by step. Okay. But to those desirous of knowing Krishna's majesty and opulence, Damodar makes it known his quality of being conquered only by his loving devotees who are devoid of such Aishvarya Gyan. In other words, again, going back to an earlier concept, devotees who understand God in Aishvarya Gyan, they are enthralled by the majesty, by the opulence, the king, the whole majestic aspect of God. But Krishna, he is looking for someone who loves him spontaneously with no consideration other than, my favorite word, love. That's what we are aspiring. So the author says, so again, with love and devotion, hundreds and hundreds of times, I praise that Lord Damodar. I got time for one more. Good. Varang deva mokshang mokshadadhing va nacha anyang vrinehang vareshada piha idang teva purnata gopala balang sadame manasyavi rastam kim anyay. So I spoke on this verse last Sunday when I was in Los Angeles temple. I spoke on this verse. This one is actually quite revolutionary. O Lord, I do not pray for the boon of moksha, either as impersonal liberation or even the highest pinnacle of liberation, entering your realm of Vaikuntha. And nor do I want anything else from you. Yes, my Lord, I know you can bestow any boon. So yes, that is God. God is Varada, can give any benediction. There's nothing impossible for Krishna. Nothing. But the author of this song is so highly advanced, he doesn't care about salvation or liberation or even going back to the kingdom of God. He doesn't care. What does he want? I know you can bestow any boon, except may this divine bodily form of yours as a young cowherder boy here in Vrindavan, may that ever be manifest in my heart. Just see. He just wants this scene. Everybody say, Bala Gopala. So this is the form of Krishna as 3-4 years old. Child, cowherd boy child. So young. So this whole pastime of Damodar, Bala Gopal, the author of this song simply wants this vision to be always in his heart. When you love someone very intensely, you think about them. That's how you know you're in love. You know because you can't stop thinking of the other unless the other isn't thinking of you. And that's a problem, which I know lots about. That was my story until I joined this movement. Unrequited love. But Prabhupada pointed out, yes, you want to love. That's natural. But the problem is you don't know who to love. And Prabhupada said, now you should learn how to love Krishna. And I asked Prabhupada in 1975 in Atlanta at a Sunday feast lecture. I was 25 years old at the time. And so I was a brahmachari, like Dravida has been for 50 more years. So I raised my hand when Prabhupada said, "Are there any questions?" So Prabhupada's Vyasa-san was at the back of the temple, and I was up front by the Gaur-Nitai deities. So I was thinking, this may be my only chance. "Prabhupada, what pleases you the most?" That was sort of like a trick question. Because at that time, the preaching in all the temples was, unless you distributed books, you're in Maya. That was the preaching. And there was lots of consternation. So I wanted to get it cleared. And everybody was thinking, oh, Prabhupada's going to say books, books. He's going to say it. So Prabhupada had his secretary, Tamal Krishna Goswami, repeat the question. So in his voice, he said, "Prabhupada, what pleases you the most?" So Prabhupada turned his head, closed his eyes, and spoke into the microphone, "If you love Krishna." And everybody went mad. Nobody was expecting that answer. And I took that. That is the instruction of my spiritual master. So the goal of my life is to learn how to love Krishna. And I'm trying. I'm working on it. And if it takes, like Rukmini told in her letter to Krishna, even if I have to take 100 births, and I would say even if it takes me 1,000 births, 10,000 births, I will not stop. Krishna, I pray. Krishna, I beg you, please never let me lose this desire to love you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, one more time, louder. So if anybody's interested, I have lecture recordings, I have music. It's all free. Come and take as much as you like. It's all free. Devridadas, do you want to add anything, edit anything, wrap it up for us?
Now, there's a word in this little poem that you may not know. A pique. Someone is in a pique means he's very annoyed and angry, and that's what Krishna was. At last, Yashoda caught a little child. At last, Yashoda caught a naughty child who'd smashed a pot of yogurt in a pique. Though seemingly annoyed, she felt beguiled by little Krishna's loving charm unique. "O imp, I've caught you now, but do not fear. You see I've thrown the stick upon the floor. But I must bind you with these ropes, my dear, lest you increase your mischief more and more." And so Yashoda bound a little son, who hid his glory to evoke her love. The blessings she enjoyed are never won by gods and goddesses who dwell above. Haribol.